What's going on, guys? It's Nick coming at you today on the channel with a combo tutorial and test hand video for my updated Springans branded deck profile that I featured on my channel last week. I know during that profile I talked to you guys about doing a combo tutorial so I could showcase you guys some of the plays post Banlist now that Verte Anaconda is gone, and I'm sure some of you guys are probably wondering how the deck actually functions without Verte. Like I said in my profile last week, this deck does not need Verte Anaconda, and this combo tutorial slash test hand is here to show you exactly why it doesn't need it. But with that being said, my name is Nick. For those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. We do all types of Yu-Gi-Oh related videos, whether it's deck profiles, combo tutorials, live duel videos as well. If those are things that catch your interest, then I encourage you to like the video, subscribe to my channel. We are on our way to 400 subscribers. Hopefully we can get there pretty soon, because I do have some really awesome videos to bring you guys to the channel in the near future. Something that I think a lot of you guys have been anticipating is my update to Metaphys, which I actually haven't done on the channel in literally almost 6 months now. And I also have some other spice coming your way. So for those of you who watch my channel and my videos, stay tuned for all those things. For those of you that are new here, please subscribe so you don't miss those videos either. But with that being said, we're going to jump right in to a combo here that I wanted to showcase for you guys. It's something that I never showcased in my last combo tutorial pre-Banlist, but I want to showcase it here. A lot of you probably are thinking that this deck is very field spell reliant. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it kind of is, which is why we have like literally 10 different ways to access the field spell, which is Great Sand-Sea Gold Golgonda. The field spell is very important. Obviously that helps us facilitate our special summons of our Xyz monsters by cheating them out. But I'm here to tell you that this deck is capable of putting out an Xyz on its own without needing the help of the field spell. And you're probably wondering how that can be, given that a lot of the Springans main deck monsters require certain amounts of setup in order to be able to spam bodies on board. So I'm here to showcase that, how that works today. So we're starting off with just this 3-card hand. Now, let's just assume that we had 2 other cards in our hand. It really doesn't matter what they are. But let's say this was your opening hand and you were going first, okay? And you didn't open a way to access the Great Sand-Sea Gold Golgonda. You're probably going to be like scratching your brain because you have no clue how you're going to Xyz summon into a rank 4 without the help of your field spell. Rest assured, there is a way to go about doing that. The card we have here is Springans Kit. Hopefully the camera can capture this. Let me see if it can try and get it to focus. There we go. This is a brand new Springans card out of the recent Alba Strike structure deck that came out. She is a Springans card in name. However, unlike the rest of the Springans in the main deck, she is not fire attribute, nor is she a machine type. She's a dark beast, which makes her relatively unique. She's also the only Springans monster that functions as a pseudo extender, being the only Springans that can special herself from hand when a certain condition happens to be met, which I think is pretty cool. This card bridges the gap between Springans and the Fallen of Albaz lore, which I think is absolutely crucial for this deck. Like, it's something that they definitely needed, and even though she doesn't function like the rest of the Springans do, she's an amazing addition to the deck. The next card in your hand is Double or Nothing. This is just a blank card. This literally could be any other card in your hand that's not Golgonda or a way to access it. The reason why I'm running Double or Nothing specifically is because this happens to be the only Garnet or Brick that we play in the main deck. Speaking of, for those of you that want to watch the profile, I'll leave the link to the updated profile down in the description of this video. Because we are playing a small Utopia double package, which is why we're running the Double or Nothing. But the Double or Nothing is basically a brick. You don't really want to draw it. So this is perfect for this example because we just need a throwaway card. And then the other card in our hand is just a Springans Captain Sargus, which is one of the higher level Springans, which obviously it's a level 8, so you can't just like normal summon it. So this is a good starting opener. I want to show you guys how this actually functions. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use our normal summon on our Springans Kit. Now, when she is normal summoned or special summoned, what we can do is we can add a branded spell or trap from either the deck, the graveyard, or the banish zone to our hand. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now. And the card we're going to be adding from the deck to our hand will actually be a copy of Branded in High Spirits. Now, with Kit, when you use her effect to add a branded spell trap, you do need to take a card from your hand and place it in the bottom of the deck. And this is what makes running like bricks, like Double or Nothing, somewhat manageable, because even though this card is a brick and you never want to open it, you do have a way to tuck it back into your deck off of Spriggan's kit, which is great, because obviously for those of you who understand how the Utopia double line works, if you have Double or Nothing in your hand, you can't activate the effect of the Utopia double, because he needs to be able to add the Double or Nothing from deck to hand. So like it shuts down the whole combo line when you draw this, but it's great, because if you do draw this, without Kit, you would usually be like in a really bad position, but with Kit, you have the ability to put this back in deck to make the Double or Nothing combo live if you do want to access it, which I think is great. So we're going to add Branded in High Spirits to our hand, and then take the Double or Nothing, which again, I'm just using this card particularly for this example. This could be any other card that was in your hand. Does not have to be Double or Nothing specifically, but you're going to take that card and place it on the bottom of your deck, okay? So now what we're going to do is Branded in High Spirits. Really insane card. It's a spell card that says reveal a monster in your hand to then send a level 8 fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard with the same type that has 2500 attack or defense, and then you can apply this following effect. So what we do is that Spriggan's in our hand, that high level Spriggan's that would otherwise also be a brick, we can activate Branded in High Spirits in our spell trap zone, and now what we do is we reveal a monster in our hand, in this case the Spriggan's Captain Sargus, who happens to be a machine type, and now that's going to allow us to take a level 8 fusion monster from our extra deck that has the same type, in this case machine. Luckily we have Sprind, the Iron Dash Dragon. This is the Spriggan's Albaz fusion. It requires Fallen of Albaz plus an effect monster special summon this turn, but it's a machine monster that also has 2500 attack or defense. So this is a fair target for us to be able to dump from the extra deck to grave off of Branded in High Spirits. So we're going to go ahead and dump the Sprind, the Iron Dash Dragon, to our graveyard. Now keep in mind that this does have an effect that triggers at the end phase, just like most of the Albaz fusions do, but we'll get to how that works later. So right now, what we're going to do now is we're going to elect to use the secondary effect of Branded in High Spirits. And again, the secondary effect is optional. If we didn't want to use it, we don't have to. We can just send the Branded in High Spirits to graveyard here. But in this case, we are going to elect to use that secondary effect. And what that is we get to discard the revealed monster, in this case, the Captain Sargus. So we can discard the revealed monster. And if you do, you can add a Fallen of Albaz or one monster that lists that card in its text from the deck to our hand. So we're going to go ahead and resolve that. Now there's a couple things that we can actually search with this effect. The most important thing, obviously, is Albaz, which we can search. But in this case, Albaz isn't really going to help us like extend and make it a rank 4 on our first turn, since we didn't open a way to the field spell. So you're probably wondering how this is going to work. Well, remember, we can search any monster that lists Albaz in its text. So a few things that are of note are Incredible Ecclesia does list the Fallen of Albaz in her text. And if we're going second and the opponent has an established board, this actually might be pretty cool to search, because she can special summon herself from our hand if the opponent controls more monsters than we do. Which, obviously, as you can see right here, is 2 level 4s. We can instantly overlay for a rank 4 there of our choice, which I think is great. However, in this combo, we're pretending that we're going first. So obviously, Ecclesia is no good to us since the opponent doesn't control monsters, and we've already exhausted our normal summon on Spriggan's kit. So what we're going to do here is actually search out the secondary copy of our Spriggan's kit that we have. We're going to go ahead and add the Spriggan's kit to our hand. Now, Spriggan's kit, again, like I said, is the bridge between the Spriggans and the Albaz lore collectively. She has a really cool effect where if I have a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz as material on my field or in my grave, I can special summon this card from my hand. Now, if you notice, the Branded in High Spirits that we searched off of the Spriggan's kit dumped a fusion monster that mentions Albaz as material. So this card literally sets us up for the Spriggan's kit special summoning ability, which I think is really cool. So now you can activate that effect to special herself from hand, and even though you've exhausted your normal summon on the first kit, you're still able to extend with the second copy you have in deck, which effectively makes kit like almost like a 1-card rank 4. I mean, like a 2-card rank 4 maybe, because you do need to like a card in your hand to pitch back. But I just think it's really cool. And now we can, like, for example, overlay both of these kits into a copy of Spriggan's Merrymaker, for example, which we otherwise wouldn't have been able to do without a card like Kit specifically. So I just think that that's absolutely cool, being able to like go into, you know, your Merrymaker without needing the use of the field spell. Because that's what like a lot of people think, is that this deck lives and dies by the field spell, and to an extent it can. You know, the field spell, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it, is extremely important to the strategy. But again, that's why we have so many ways to search it and recover it. But there are going to be times when you're just unlucky and don't open access to it. So, you know, you still need to know how to pilot the deck, you know, without using the field spell as a crutch, so to speak. And this is just a really cool combo that, you know, I discovered in testing that can allow you to make, you know, Merrymaker, for example, without needing the use of the field spell. So that's just the first combo that I wanted to showcase for you guys. Now I want to showcase you guys another combo. Oh, also keep in mind at the end phase of that turn, Sprint would have triggered to either special Albash from deck, or add Albash to hand, or special any Springans monster from deck, or add a Springans monster to hand as well. So that, I think that's also pretty cool, something to keep note of. But anyway, moving on to our second combo, we're going to go Rocky and a copy of the field spell, or any way to access the field spell. This is going to be a pretty simple combo, and this is going to show us how we utilize the Utopia package. So what we're going to do here is activate our copy of Great Sandseed Golgoganda in the field zone. We're going to use its effect, since we don't control a Springans Xyz, to dump or discard a copy or Spriggan's card from our hand, in this case Rocky, to then special summon a Spriggan's Xyz from our extra deck, in this case Merrymaker. Merrymaker, since it was special summoned from the extra deck, will use this effect to send a Spriggan's monster from the deck to the graveyard. In this case, we'll pitch a copy of Spriggan's Brothers. Brothers triggers, using its effect, since it was sent from deck to grave, to target a Spriggan's monster in grave and special summon it. So we're going to special summon the Rocky. Then since the Rocky is special summoned, we're going to use Rocky's effect to target a Spriggan's monster in our graveyard and add it to hand. In this case, the Brothers. So very silly combo. Like, we basically didn't nag any resources there and went like +2 on field advantage and still kept a card in hand. But now we haven't utilized our normal summon yet. So now we can normal summon the Spriggan's Brothers. And now before the ban list, we used to use both of these cards to make Verte and then dump Branded Fusion and make like a Mirror Jade, for example. But now since Verte is banned, we don't necessarily have to go down that line. What we can do here is we can overlay the Rocky and the Brothers to make any rank 4 of our choice. Now, in this case, I decided to go with the Utopia Double, or the Utopia package, in my extra deck post-ban list, because I thought it was pretty cool. So we can take both of those level 4s and overlay them into number 39 Utopia Double. Now, for those of you who don't know how Utopia Double works, he just requires any 2 level 4 monsters, so he's completely generic. He has 0 attack and 2500 defense, so he is pretty formidable in terms of a defense stat. But he has a quick effect, which means you can activate it on either player's turn. And what it does is you can detach a material from this card to add a double or nothing from the deck to your hand. And then if you do, you can special summon from your extra deck 1 Utopia Xyz monster, except number 39 Utopia Double, by using number 39 Utopia Double you control as the material, and then any materials that are below him attached to that new monster. So what we do here is we use his effect. Remember, it's a quick effect. So let's say you get hand trapped here, for example, like Veilered or Impermed. You can still do this next turn and still summon a really formidable Xyz monster, since it's a quick effect, which I think is hilarious. So even if they like burn like an Imperm or Veiler on this, it really doesn't even matter in the grand scheme. But you're going to detach a material to then add double or nothing from deck to hand. Again, this is why double or nothing is like the Garnet. You don't want to draw this card, because Utopia Double has to add it from deck to hand in order to like resolve his own effect. So add the 1 copy of the double or nothing. Then we can special summon a number 39 Utopia Xyz monster from our extra deck using the Utopia Double's material. Now, what's crazy about this is if we do, its attack becomes doubled. However, it cannot attack directly. So what we're going to do is our Utopia of choice that we're playing in our extra deck is a copy of Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. This is a newer Utopia monster. And you're probably wondering, hey, it's not really a number 39 Utopia, but I'm here to let you know that this card is like literally the first line in its text. This card is always treated as a number C39 Utopia Ray. So it technically does have this number 39 name, just not in its text, it's by its effect, which I think is kind of cool. Also, just look at the artwork in this card. It looks absolutely stunning. But anyway, getting sidetracked here, we're gonna overlay the Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray on top of our Utopia Double But then by Utopia Double's effect, Utopia Ray's attack becomes doubled, which means it jumps from 2,500 to 5,000 attack. And the only drawback is that this card can no longer attack directly, which in the grand scheme isn't even a problem, now that we have a 5k beat stick that can literally beat over almost any monster in the game. Now, there's probably that one guy in the back, but, it can't hit over access code, because access code is 5,300. Pause, because we're not done. Let me explain something here. So, what Utopia Ray can do is, once per turn, you can detach a material from this card to equip one ZW, or Zexal Weapon, that's what that stands for those of you who didn't know. One Zexal Weapon monster from your deck or extra deck to this card as if it were equipped by that monster's effect. So we can use the Utopia Ray's effect to go ahead and detach the Springans brothers. And then we're going to equip from the deck a Zexal Weapon monster to our copy of Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray, as if that Zexal Weapon was equipped by its own effect. So we literally just cheat out this equip. In this case, for those of you who are unaware, we're running Zexal Weapon Pegasus Twin Saber. Now, if you read this card, it states that you can only equip this card to a Utopia Xyz while you control this card on field. However, Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray completely bypasses that. We don't have to control this. We literally attach this card to our Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray and equip it straight out of the deck by the Utopia Ray's effect. Now, what's even more insane about that is the fact that that particular effect, to be able to equip a Zexal Weapon, cannot be, that effect's activation and effect itself cannot be negated. So your opponent literally cannot stop that from happening. Doesn't matter if they have Imperm, Droplet, whatever. That's like a spell speed 4 kind of effect. Your opponent literally cannot respond. Well, it's not that they can't respond. That effect can't be negated, I guess. Let me rephrase that before people get misled. Your opponent can respond to this, but whatever they respond with can't negate his effect from equipping this from my deck. So there's literally, there's nothing they can do about it, pretty much, in terms of trying to stop that from happening. Which I think is absolutely cracked. Now, while this Zexal Weapon Pegasus Twin Saber is equipped to a Utopia, it grants that Utopia monster an additional 1,000 attack. Keep in mind that our Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray is already at 5,000, so now it becomes a 6,000 attack monster. And if that wasn't bad enough, once per turn, while this card is equipped to a Utopia monster, we can negate a monster effect activated on the opponent's field once per turn. Now, the crazy thing about how this works is the fact that this effect doesn't start a chain. What happens is at resolution of that opponent's monster effect, you can choose to just negate it. This does not give your opponent the chance to respond because it doesn't chain to the activation. It just negates at resolution, which is very interesting how it's does that. For those of you that are curious on that ruling, feel free to look it up. It is in fact true and correct. I also believe Tombox, who has a YouTube channel called mst.tv, made an entire ruling video about this card in particular because of how it works. Is very, very unique. So it's a once per turn monster negate while it's equipped to any Utopia. And the opponent basically can't respond to it, or not that he can't respond to it, it just doesn't start a chain because it negates at resolution, not at activation, which is pretty cracked. So now you have this equipped to the Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray is now a 6,000 attack monster. So for those of you who said, oh, but he can't hit over access code, well, now you can. He's literally 6k. There's nothing in the meta right now that even remotely gets that high in terms of attack value. I mean, maybe I'm drawing blanks, but from what I know about what's topping in the meta right now, there really isn't any other card that comes remotely close to 6k attack. So literally, this card will be able to beat over anything it encounters, pretty much. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, if you continue reading Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray, he gains a quick effect while he's equipped with a Zexal Weapon monster, and that effect is another quick effect, and it states you can target an effect monster the opponent controls, negate its effects, and if you do, have its attack. That's a quick effect. So instead of making Verte and summoning a Mirror Jade like we used to, now we're just able to access, through the Utopia double line, a 6,000 attack, double monster negate monster. One of the negates being off of this card, which the opponent like has a hard time responding to because it doesn't start a chain link, which means even if this gets like impermed or chaliced, for example, or like dropleted, this won't fall off because it's not like a Savage Dragon. Like this basically just becomes an equip spell, and even if this card like gets impermed or whatnot, the Zexa weapon still stays equipped to it because it functions like any other equip spell would. Which means even if they imperm this, you still get the negate, at least one negate. But now if they don't have a way to deal with this, you have a 6,000 attack, double negate, one of which the opponent can't respond to, the other of which is a permanent negation and attack reduction, because it's not till the end of the turn. He can target any effect monster the opponent controls, negate its effects, and have its attack, period. It doesn't say to the end of the turn, which means that it's a permanent attack reduction and a permanent negation on a 6,000 attack beat stick, which is absolutely crazy. So that was pretty much it for the combo, guys. I just wanted to show you guys more or less how the deck functions post, Banlist. Like I said, I definitely really wanted to showcase the Utopia line, but I'll do one more combo before we end the video here. I guess I can show you how we end up summoning Mirror Jade and cards of that nature, for example. Let's just say... Here. Hang tight with me, boys. I'm looking for Springans' kit. Has anybody seen her? There she is. We're going to grab a kit. And then we'll grab anything. Brothers, it doesn't really matter what it is, to be honest. I do... Okay. So, in this case, we're going to have a normal summon Springans' kit. We can either normal summon it or special it off our own effect, assuming we had a fusion engrave already that listed Albaz as material, but we're going to special summon kit, or excuse me, normal summon kit, use her effect. We're going to add a copy of Branded Fusion from the deck to our hand. Then we're going to take a card from our hand, in this case the Brothers. This could be any card, and just place it on the bottom of the deck. So now we have our Springans' kit on field. We're going to activate Branded Fusion. This allows us to fusion summon into a fusion monster that mentions Fall of Albaz as material from the extra deck by using two monsters from our hand, deck, and or field as fusion material. However, we cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except fusion monsters during the turn we activate this card. So once we commit to this, we're pretty much locked into fusions, which means even if we did get access to Golgolganda later in the turn, we can't use it to cheat out an Xyz monster, unfortunately. But what we're going to do here is we can either summon Albion. Is it Albion? No, it's... Man, I'm drawing blanks, guys, sorry. Yeah, no, it is Albion. Okay, I'm just tweaking. So we can either summon Albion or we can summon Lubellion. I think Albion's the one that requires the light monster, if I'm not mistaken. So we can summon Albion here by dumping the Fallen of Albaz from deck and a light monster. In this case, it could just be the Incredible Ecclesia. And then we can go ahead and special summon our Albion, or fusion summon our Albion. Now, Albion's effect on summon will trigger, and this allows us to fusion summon, if this card is fusion summoned, we can fusion summon a level 8 or lower fusion monster from our extra deck, except a copy of himself, by banishing the fusion materials listed on it from our hand, field, and or graveyard. So now we can literally banish the Albion himself and the Fallen of Albaz that's in our graveyard to then make our copy of Mirror Jade. If we wanted to summon Mirror Jade that way as well. Keep in mind we can do the literal same thing with Lubellion. The only difference is that Lubellion just requires a Dark Monster and a Fallen of Albaz instead of a Light Monster and Fallen of Albaz. But we can like dump like Spriggan's Kit, or we play a few Darks in the deck, obviously. And then Lubellion pretty much functions the same way. The only downside is that it does require a discard. But it fusion summons again. Like when this card is fusion summoned, you can fusion summon again. You do have to discard a card, whereas unlike Albion, you don't have to discard. Lubellion does require it. But instead of banishing the materials, you can shuffle materials back into your deck from among the cards on your field, graveyard, or banish zone, which is pretty cool. But either way, either or one of those cards can get you to a Mirror Jade. So obviously we're still able to make the Mirror Jade in this deck without needing the help of Verte Anaconda. But that's going to be it for the combo tutorial, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this, and hopefully you picked up a few new tips off of it. Let me know what you guys think about the Utopia double package in Spriggans. If you ask me, I think having a 6k beater with the double monster negate attached to it is pretty cool, and I think it's a little bit better than the Verte into Mirror Jade line, in my own opinion. But either way, I still think Spriggans is a very fun rogue deck, and yeah, like I said, like the video, subscribe. I'll leave a link in the description down below for the updated profile that I made post Banlist in case you want to watch it. And stay tuned for more really cool Yu-Gi-Oh content to soon come on the channel. Thanks.